In this video, we will build a simple HTML e-commerce website from scratch using HTML and CSS. First, open your terminal or command prompt, create a new folder named CS Demo, then move into that folder so you're working inside it. Start your HTML file by declaring it as an HTML5 document using doctype HTML. Then open the HTML tag and set the language to English with lang equals n so the browser knows what language the page is in. Inside the head section, add basic setup details for the page. Include a title using the title tag, which will show in the browser tab, and connect your CSS file using the link tag so your styles apply to the page. After finishing the head, move into the body section where all your visible content will go, such as headings, sections, products, and buttons. Next, you can create a simple navigation bar navbar inside the body section of your HTML file. This navbar will help users move between different pages like home, shop, cart, and contact. Start by adding a nav element, which is used for navigation menus. Inside it, you can place links using tags for each section. For example, you would have links labeled home, shop, cart, and contact. These links can either point to other pages, like Shop HTML, or be placeholders for now using. To organize them neatly, you can group the links inside a container like a div, or directly style them using CSS later so they appear in a horizontal row like a proper menu bar. Once connected with your style's CSS, you can make the navbar look cleaner with spacing, colors, and hover effects so it feels like a real website navigation system. In your collections section, you can start by adding a clear heading, like New Collection, using a heading tag such as H2. This makes it stand out as the main title of the section. Below the heading, include a short paragraph that describes the section. For example, discover the latest trends to give users a quick idea of what they will find. After the text, add a button labeled Shop Now using a button or a styled link. This button should act as a call to action, encouraging users to go to the shop or product page. You can wrap all of these elements inside a section so they are grouped together, making it easier to style and organize later with your CSS. For the products section, you can create a structured layout that shows your items clearly. Start by adding a section container like section to group all products together. At the top of this section, include a header such as products using a heading tag like H2 so users know what this area is about. Inside the section, create individual product blocks. You can think of them like product cards. Each product should have a title such as Product 1 inches using a heading tag like H3, followed by a price displayed in a paragraph like Price, $10, or your chosen amount. Below the price, add a button labeled Add to Cart using a button element so users can interact with it. You can repeat this same structure for multiple products, Product 1, Product 2, etc. to build a full product listing page. Later, you can use CSS to arrange these products in a grid or row layout so they look like a modern online store. The footer is placed at the bottom of your web page and usually contains closing information. You can add a simple footer using the footer tag. Inside it, you can include things like a short message such as Copyright 2026 Your Store. All rights reserved. You can also add quick links like home, shop, cart, and contact again so users can navigate easily from the bottom of the page. If you want, you can also include extra details like contact email, social media links, or a small note about your website. The footer is usually simple, clean, and consistent with the rest of the design. Start with the universal selector to remove default spacing and make layout easier to control. Set margin and padding to 0 and use box sizing, border box so that padding and borders are included in element sizes, which helps keep your design consistent. Next, style the body of the page. Set a font family to make your text look clean and readable, such as Arial or sans serif. Then choose a background color to give your site a nice overall look. You can also set a default color for your text, so everything has a consistent style across the page. This creates a clean foundation for the rest of your design. And from here you can start styling your navbar, collection section, products, and footer more specifically. For the nav element, give it a background color so it stands out from the rest of the page. Add some padding to create space inside the navbar so the links don't feel cramped. Then use Display Flex to arrange the items in a row. With Flexbox, you can easily control alignment, Use justify content, space between or center, depending on your design, to control horizontal spacing, and use align items, center to vertically align everything in the middle of the navbar. This will make your navigation links like home, shop, cart, and contact appear neatly in one horizontal bar, properly spaced and centered. Next, style your header H1, so it looks more visually appealing and stands out as the main title of your page. Next, style your navigation links, Nava, to make them look clean and interactive. First, set the color so the links match your design and are easy to read against the navbar background. Then add margin left to create spacing between each link so they don't sit too close together. Remove the default underline by setting text decoration, none, which gives the links a cleaner, modern look. Finally, add a transition so that when users hover over the links, any change in color or style happens smoothly instead of instantly. This makes your navbar feel more polished and interactive. Create the Nav A hover selector in your CSS and change the color to red. This means when a user hovers over links like home, shop, cart, or contact, the text will turn red, giving a clear visual feedback. If you already added a transition earlier, the color change will appear smooth instead of instant, which makes the navigation feel more modern and polished. The collection section is usually the first promotional area on a website where you highlight something important, like new collection or a featured drop. Its main purpose is to grab attention quickly and guide users toward action, like shopping or exploring products. Adding a background helps this section stand out from the rest of the page. Instead of blending in, it becomes a visually separate block, making it easier for users to notice and focus on it. This is often used for branding or to create contrast. Text alignment, like center alignment, is used to make the content feel balanced and visually strong, especially for headings and short descriptions. It naturally guides the user's eyes to the center of the message, which works well for promotional content. Padding is important because it creates space inside the section. Without padding, the text end button would feel cramped. Padding gives the content breathing room, making the design look cleaner and more professional. For the header, styling like larger font size and bold weight helps it stand out as the main message. The paragraph is usually smaller and lighter so it supports the header without overpowering it. The button is the action element, so it should be noticeable. Styling it with color, padding, and maybe rounded corners makes it feel clickable and inviting. A button hover effect, like changing color or slightly scaling up, gives feedback when the user interacts with it, which improves usability and makes the website feel more responsive and modern. For the button hover effect, setting the background color to red is a common way to make the interaction feel strong and noticeable. When the user moves their mouse over the button, changing the background color to red gives immediate visual feedback that the button is active and clickable. This helps guide the user's attention and encourages them to click, especially for important actions like shop now or add to cart. For the products section, you can style it using CSS Grid to create a clean and organized layout for your product cards. Start by adding padding to the section, so the content has space around the edges and doesn't feel cramped. This makes the layout look more balanced and easier to read. Then set Display Grid, which allows you to arrange products in rows and columns automatically. Use grid template columns to define how many products appear in a row. For example, you can use something like Repit AutoFit, MinMax 200px, 1FR, so the layout adjusts nicely on different screen sizes. Finally, add a gap to control the spacing between product cards. This creates clean separation between items, making the design more visually appealing and easier to scan. Together, padding, grid display, template columns, and gap help turn a simple product list into a structured, modern shopping layout. For each product card, you can style it to look like a clean and modern item box inside your product grid. Start by giving the product a background color so it stands out from the page background and feels like its own clickable card. Then add padding inside the card so the text, product name, price, button, has enough space and doesn't look crowded. Use border radius to slightly round the corners of the card, which makes the design feel softer and more modern instead of sharp and blocky. This is commonly used in e-commerce layouts. Set text align, center so the product name, price, and button are neatly centered inside the card, giving a balanced and consistent look across all products. Finally, add a transition to the product card so that when you hover over it, for example, changing shadow, scale, or background, the effect happens smoothly. This makes the product grid feel more interactive and professional, like a real online store. Each product in the products section can be structured in a simple and consistent way using three main parts: an image, a heading, and a paragraph. The product image is placed at the top and is the first thing users see. It helps visually represent the item and makes the page more engaging. The image should fit neatly inside the product card so it looks clean and balanced. Below the image, the heading shows the product name. This is usually slightly larger or bolder text so it stands out and clearly identifies the item. Under the heading, the paragraph provides extra information such as a short description or price. This helps users quickly understand what the product is about, keeping the structure consistent for all products. Each product card should also include a button, usually placed under the text content like the product name and description. The button is the main action element, such as add to cart or buy now. It gives users a clear way to interact with the product and move it into their shopping process. You can also include a hover effect on the button so that when a user moves their mouse over it, the style changes, for example, background color or text color. This makes the button feel more interactive and responsive, helping users understand that it is clickable. The footer is the bottom section of your website and is used to close the page with useful or simple information. It usually appears after all main content like collections and products. In the footer, you can include a short line such as a copyright message, for example, copyright 2026 your store, all rights reserved, to show ownership of the website. You can also repeat important links like home, shop, cart, and contact so users can easily navigate even after scrolling down. To add images to your project, first open your CS demo folder on your computer. Then create a new folder inside it called something like Images or IMG. This is where you will store all your product pictures. After that, simply drag and drop your image files, like product photos, into this folder from your computer. This keeps your project organized and makes it easier to link images in your HTML. To view your website in the browser, you can use Live Server if you're using Visual Studio Code. First, make sure your project folder, CS Demo, is opened in VS Code. Then open your main file, usually index.html. Next, install the Live Server extension if you haven't already. After installing it, right-click on your index.html file and select Open with Live Server. This will automatically open your website in the browser and update it in real time whenever you save changes to your HTML or CSS file. You have completed the tutorial and built a fully functional web page. You have created a structured layout with a navbar for easy navigation, a collection section to showcase featured items, a product grid to display products with images, titles, prices, and buttons, and a footer to wrap it all up. You also set up a live preview using Live Server, allowing you to see changes in real time. This foundation will help you further enhance your project with additional styling, interactivity, or even dynamic features.